Sponsored by Zach Ciota Records. Great music, awesome technician. ZachCiotaRecords.com.
We ride it high and ride it low, and where we end up, only God knows.
All right, guys, we are at a relative of the boss man. This is my first time being out here. We have a Lennox system here, a heat pump. He says that every year or every year or every other year they have to come out here and replace a capacitor. It doesn't look like the capacitor is visibly blown, but we do have a very burnt contactor. But the reason that the condenser's not running today is because of the float switch. Let me go ahead and pull this disconnect, because I have to replace this contactor. I got a new one right here. I'm going to check the capacitor, but visibly it looks fine, but I'm still going to check it. But this contactor is burnt. And we're going to do some checking to see why this thing keeps eating capacitors. And there's a hard start in there. We're going to check that also to make sure it's good. So, but for right now, we're going to get started changing out this contactor. The Tyler is upstairs sucking the water out of the secondary pan and unstopping the drain line, because that was the main reason why his condensing unit was not coming on today. So we're going to change his contactor. Then we'll check the capacitor and the hard start. I just heard something click. Tyler must have got the float switch untripped. I see lights on the defrost board now, which means that they have red broken on the float switch, because I didn't have power between red and common out here. So that tells me they broke red on the float switch, which is the way I like to do it myself. That'll make a good blog. A lot of people argue on whether to break red or why. I always break red, but that'll be a good video for a good blog video. I haven't done a blog in a while, so. Wow. Yeah, that thing is. We have a Mitsubishi right here next to us that I keep dropping my tools off of. I'm gonna redo that. Yeah, you can see that thing is burnt. I mean, it's in rough shape. Pull this off. Drill. My chucks are rusted out because I got rained on the other day and my bag was open. I'll leave the low voltage wires hooked up until I get the new contactor mounted in place. You have to be very careful when you're doing this, when you're doing it live with your 24 volts live, because you don't want to blow a fuse. And if it doesn't have a fuse, you'll blow the transformer. All right. Get all these hooked up. 24 volts hooked up. Yep, the 24 volts is hot. It just pinched me. That means the defrost board has released it and the contactor should click. No, it didn't click. Yeah, I'm just gonna, I don't have enough metal for that lug to grab to. I'm just gonna strip them back and there went the contactor. She's ready to run now, but we're going to check these capacitors first. I'm just about done with this contactor. Get my 2 high voltage wires from the disconnect pin and we'll be done with that. I always do that crap. Broke the freaking plastic off of it. Alright, it's still tight though. Alright, let's check the capacitor. Try to check it without taking it apart. It is it's an 80 plus 10. Might help if I set the meter on microfarads. 84, that's good. Check the fan side. 10, yeah, good. Capacitor is good. That's all right, that's a good thing. Up. I'm going to remount this. Because it clearly says this side up. have to get a zip screw to do that though. There we go. And it broke. Lovely. You know, you try to do something right and it breaks. I'll have to try to drill through here and see if it'll hold. Nope. I'll have to put a strap on it. Well guys, we won't have to worry about fixing that potential relay because I don't know if y'all can see that right there, but that hard start literally has blowed a hole in it. I mean, it's got a hole in it, so no good. So we'll strap a new one in here and remount the potential relay like it's supposed to be, and everything else checks out. But I'm going to go ahead and add another hard start to it because with that thing blowing capacitors like this. That's Tyler calling me from the attic. Let me catch that, fellas. All right, guys, I have all the new components in. Capacitor stayed. New hard start with potential relay. Potential relay is facing up like it says for you to do. I have the start capacitor strapped to the plumbing strap with the zip tie that comes with the hard start. You can debate that, but it's not going anywhere. It's not touching. It's going to be just fine. So now what I want to do is going to hook up my common compressor wire, take an inrush current, and I'm going to start the system up. Pulling high amps. $28. The compressor's very noisy. pressure's not bad either. It's just noisy. Head pressure's climbing now. Running at about 220 pounds of head pressure, which is still not bad. 220, between 70 and 75. My little Z-Mans are not, these little Uniwelds are not acting really well. I got a buddy of mine from the Facebook community group that is sending me, I bought some Hillmore gauges from him, and I'm gonna try those out. And if they don't, see, like this one's broken, so I mean, this may be off by just a few pounds. And see how this one, I don't know if you can see, this one rocks. So if the Hillmores don't hold up, and they do this and break and rock, I'm gonna upgrade to the digitals like Zach has, to those Robinaires digitals. I would go ahead and do that now, but I've already got this guy, I already paid for these new Hillmores, so I'll try those out. But our refrigerant pressures are not bad on this unit. Not bad at all. It's just it's loud, and it's drawing 20 amps on the 20 and a half amps, you know. But he says it cools when it's running, it cools well. I don't know how good that'll show up on camera, but you can see right there, that thing is burnt. I'm gonna go inside and take a temperature split and all that and see how that looks. All right, guys, we got about a 15 to 16 degree split, and it's actually cooling really well. It's just a noisy one. Still holding at 75. We're still holding at about 220, 225. It's still holding at 20 and a half amps. I mean, that's all I can do for him, you know, unless he wants to talk about upgrading, you know, because he is popping capacitors. But hey, it's cooling, you know. New contactor. Got a good split, got all the water out the pan, got the drain line unstopped. I mean, that's not too much more I can do for this guy, but I mean, it's running good, it's just noisy. And sometimes compressors are like that. And if he's not worried about the noisy compressor, then he'll be fine until he blows another capacitor or something. But I mean, I can't really see why. I mean, it's not overamping, you know. It is drawing a high end rush, even with the hard start. It was still drawing 110 on startup, even with a hard start. So, you know, but it's not, you know, the LRA is 28. We're drawing 20 and a half. So, all right, guys. Well, that's all I can do for him. It's back up and running. It's cooling. Now that the big door is on the back, muffles the sound pretty good of the compressor. Pulling good heat. Got a good temperature split. It's running good. So is the old Mitsubishi. Old Mitsubishi's running good too. All right, guys. Not the most interesting video, but you know, I'm trying to upload them more frequently. People have been asking, so I'm trying to give you something. All right, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see y'all on the next one.